Oh, howdy, howdy. Greetings, Pathfinders. I'm your host, Dustin Knight, and welcome back to another edition of Infinite Reviews. But this is no normal edition of Infinite Reviews, because tonight we're going over the first 6 months of Pathfinder and Starfinder Infinite content for 2022. This will be a rapid-fire, quick review with slides like the one you're seeing right now to my right. So if you want more detailed reviews on most of these products, check out shows.infinite.net, which will be a spreadsheet that has links to all of my reviews, timestamped appropriately, for these products. Some of these products are still awaiting full video reviews, and if there are any that stick out to you, please go ahead and shout out to me on social media or check me out on my Discord at infinite.net. First, I do need to clarify that all views on this show are my own and have not been reviewed or endorsed by Paizo. My ongoing goal is to showcase and review as many third-party Pathfinder and Starfinder products as possible. So, if everyone is ready to start the show, let's go. So we'll start off here. This was actually, I think, released like January 1st. Twilight Archer by Lazarus Dark. Twilight Archer is a fun archetype that lets you conjure an energy bow and shoot out light and dark arrows. It had an update fairly recently. It's also cool that I think it is a one of those products. If you see this tilde by the price here, that means it's pay as much as you want. But in this case, the payment does go to Extra Life, so you are benefiting a charity. Love the archetype. If you want to play that fantasy of having an energy bow, or you want to play like a light and dark switch character, this is a great way to do it. The Haunting of Herostone is a 2E conversion for one of those for the Haunting of Herostone, for one of the first adventures in the Carrion Crown a adventure path. It includes maps, treasure, some expanded encounters that fit better in 2E. Really well done product. Love their player views, where they give you like some. They're kind of like 3D renders where it puts you in like a first person view, so you can show your players like this is what it looks like going through this underground tomb or sewer or whatever. To try not to spoil it for you there. Amorphic Adventures. This is a supplement that lets you play a slime. It's a ooze ancestry. It has a lot of leeway as to what kind of ooze you are, whether you're like an aberrant ooze or an elemental amalgam or just a gelatinous cube. If you want to play an ooze, but you don't want to necessarily go through that whole ooze morph archetype they have, check out Amorphic Adventures. It is so amusing. Aegis Avengewatch's Missing Person. This was made for Aegis Avengewatch as a supplement between these two scenes in one of the, I believe, part 2 of chapter 2 of Aegis Avengewatch. However, I have found that it works great in any kind of urban investigative campaign as a fun sidetrack, side seed. If you're one of my players, go ahead and you could buy it, but don't read it quite yet, because I'm still considering using it. There's still a couple paths y'all could have taken to get to the inn and perhaps look for this missing person. But it is a really great product, and I really enjoyed it. Haha. All right, Merry Bears. Merry Bears is a really fun ancestry that kind of took Pathfinder Infinite by storm. It was fun. It was just very well done. They managed to integrate this very unexpected ancestry into Golarion in such a great way. It's well balanced. The mechanics are cool. The flavor is on point. Merry Bears, really fun book. You should definitely check it out. Really in-depth ancestry, and honestly, it could play up. I mean, I know like the whole Care Bear thing seems silly, but they managed to put the flavor in there in such a perfect way that it could play in a completely serious Pathfinder adventure as easily as any, let's say, gnome. Really cool ancestry. Love the artwork too. Great artwork. Merry Bears. All right. Mythic Stewie. So there were a couple of Mythic releases. This is the one I really enjoyed, but honestly, they all have elements from them that you could kind of pick and choose from. You might like a path in one Mythic, how one Mythic book did a path better than the other one. But I'm showcasing Mythic Stewie by Nathan Salzi. It's a really cool way to get that extra burst of power in a super high level kind of mythic campaign. They managed to make the mythic paths feel like they do in 1E. probably a bit more balanced in some cases than the 1E one. I'm sorry, Mythic Battle Strike, but you were a bit much in 1E. So, if you want to play Mythic, check out Mythic 2E. There are, like it says in the, yeah, like it says in the chat, 400 Mythic feats, split between all the different paths. All right. Sons of Raging Blood. This is a book, it's kind of a half ancestry, half bestiary for louts, which are kind of male hags. It has a big adventure in it if you want to visit this kind of like island full of louts ruled by this lout prince. It also has full stat blocks for playing a lout as an ancestry. It has some really, really cool, flavorful archetypes. Love the barbarian one in here. That's a instinct, barbarian instinct, which I really love that in here. And a really cool adventure. Some barbarians can't even count that high. Oh, that was a good one, Paper Ninja. All right, Realms of the Mammoth Lord Pack 1. This is kind of for all the Realms of the Mammoth Lord stuff. Gremlin Brothers has a ton of really cool Realm of the Mammoth Lord stuff that you should definitely check out. Including map packs for some of the encounters and adventures that could have used some more specific or some better maps. The maps by the Gremlin Brothers are gorgeous. They're awesome. Some of them are like have like sound effects and like integrated motion in them. Some of them are just really, really good renderings. They tend to have like the night and the day and the foggy and the clear, so they have a big variety of these maps that you get. And honestly, if I was to run Realm of the Mammoth Lords, or if I had a GM running Realm of the Mammoth Lord for me, I would throw all the Gremlin Brothers stuff at them, because it would be sure to make the campaign that much more special. Especially if you're running on VTT. Queerfinder. Everyone here probably knows about this. One of the big breakout products for Pathfinder Infinite. Queerfinder is an in-character magazine detailing in their first volume a bunch of queer bars of Absalom. There's really cool and fun magic items. There's a couple really neat encounters. There's menus you could use to fill out your taverns, or some fantasy food in there. There's NPCs. There's some great illustrations, short stories, a comic. It's so worth it. It's so great. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait for Volume 2. There's some amazing authors in here. It's just a really solid product that if you don't have it yet, you definitely got to check it out. All right. The Haunting of Blackthorne Manor. This is a really, 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 really cool adventure for 4th to 5th level characters. There's some horror themes. There's some content warnings you should check out in the product description, but nothing we haven't seen before in official Paizo work even. It's a really well done creepy horror adventure. Again, I would love to try to integrate it in my own campaign, but my players just got a little bit too high level before this came out. But you could adjust. The artwork is fantastic. I love the art by Sari Rowland and their significant other. The style in it is unique and fun. It's just great. I love it. Arcadia Files Ultimetta. This is by Luis Loza of Paizo and Arcadia fame. This is a book detailing a city and culture and the surrounding areas of the town of Almedia in Tizuni. It is the first of what I hope are many Arcadia books released by the Arcadia designer himself, Luis Loza. I should say developer? Arcadia dev designer, Luis Loza. This book's really cool. I love this town. I love the characters in it. There's some really cool deities in here. Kind of Arcadia-centric, but they could work all over. I mean, deities are could work all over the planet if you want them to. Luis has also released another free product with all of the unique holy symbols for these deities, and I think that's really, really cool. Really fun to print those out, to put them on the to put them on your character sheets, or just have them for your avatar on your Discord where you're running your Arcadia campaign or what have you. Ultimetta itself is a great quest hub. It's a really solid location up there in the wow, my brain just shut down. In the northwestern part of Arcadia, where you got all the guns and the star guns and it's a really fun place. You could even check out his stream where he runs in this general locale. The cover is incredible. The artwork is amazing. I believe it was from Shappy, but don't quote me on that right now. It's a solid product, like everything Luis has released for Pathfinder Infinite. Kitsune Glorion Star Spinners. This is my own product, full disclosure. I wanted to just announce on stream again that it has full Foundry support, including a bonus feat, which is in the new updated book, along with a better looking layout. So, if you have ever seen this and gone, what's this all about? It is getting a familiar and throwing it at people. Getting a little star ball and telekinetically projecting it out at people, and also communing with your ancestors' star orbs. So yeah, if you ever want to check out the mechanics for that, it is free up on the Foundry Bazaar. Pop! And there you have it. All right. The Feathered Valley. This is another Gremlin Brothers Realm of the Mammoth Lord tie-in. I think it's a genius idea for an Infinite product. I want to see these for every AP. This is a level 0 AP adventure. So it's made to get you from level 0 to level 1 using the level 0 rules from the Game Mastery Guide. And it helps explain why the party's together, why they all came together, why they're all a member of this tribe, why they're in this adventure together. I know a lot of APs will already do this for you, but sometimes you might want a little bit more. And this can really help the GM get an idea, and the players get an idea of what their characters are all about before that first actual session. Which could, even help if a player is on the fence about the type of character. Sometimes it's just a matter of, like, you'll start playing a character and it'll be like, I just can't do this. I can't use this voice I thought I could use. It just isn't working for me. And that happens. So, Level 0 Adventures, really cool. Prequel to Quest for the Frozen Flame. Pow! Fearsome Foes and Fables. This is an 88-page bestiary. 32 different creatures with lore, role-playing notes, some incredibly fun illustrations that you can see right here on the cover. I love Sarah Rowland's products, and Fearsome Foes and Fables is a really, really cool one. Check it out. I love bestiaries. More bestiaries, more monsters, less work for me. I love it. All right, the Deflecting Palm. This is an unarmed Magus hybrid study. If you ever wanted to play an unarmed Magus, get this. It gives you everything you need to spell strike with your punches, deflect magic that's coming at you. It's just really, really cool. I like it a lot. It's a fun little product. Options for Better Future, another fun product with a bunch of different classes. Was that 23 new options for base classes? The big thing that got me here is there's actually new Ranger edges in this book, which that surprised me, if anything, that I haven't seen that before. And I can't think of any other product where I've seen that before. So Options for Better Future has some really, really fun class archetypes, class paths, class options. So definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun inspiration in there. Gunsmoke by Tyler Renadez and James Beck. If you play a gunslinger and you want things to be a little bit more cowboy, maybe you're in Ultimetta, maybe you just wanted to play the fantasy of having that 6-shooter or that Winchester rifle, Gunsmoke has you covered. There's a bunch of new weapons, a bunch of information on each of those weapons. A lot of research has gone into this, and it shows. If you want more firearm options, check out Gunsmoke. Order of the Vault by Victoria L. Sullivan. If you want to play a Hell Knight that is all about finding potentially nasty relics and destroying and or making sure they don't get unsealed, kind of the dark archive of the Hell Knights, this is a new Hell Knight order. It includes full stats for playing one, lots of NPCs. It's nice to have a Hell Knight order that isn't so potentially anti-adventuring party. Unless the party wants to use the artifact themselves and not seal it away. There's also information here on some Shattered Star artifacts converted into 2E, like the Sahedron itself. So if you were ever thinking, I want to run a Shattered Star campaign in 2E, I would suggest you start here. Alright, here we have Kitsune Glorion Foxfire Adepts. Another archetype based on the content in Kitsune Glorion. This one is all about using your Foxfire natural attack you get as a Kitsune for a single feat, and burninating better with it, channeling magic through it, spell striking with it. It has tons of different feats and options. There's enough feats to take you from 2 to 20 and still not get everything, which I love archetypes like that because they make my brain just like think of all the build possibilities. There's new weapon rune, new focus spells, a series of stance spells where you get these big fiery tails and a lot of cool stuff like that. Oh, and Foxfire lanterns. You could store your Foxfire in a lantern and have a party member use your Foxfire and do a bunch of other neat, cool stuff with your Foxfire. And of course, I love that illustration. All right. 100 hooks and rumors to hear in or about Magnamar. There's a couple of these. I think another's like 150 in Kiramaga. No, 150 in Absalom, 100 in Kiramaga, 100 in Magnamar. They are a collection of hooks for, frankly, any urban campaign, but nichely focused toward these Galarian cities. They are great not only for thinking of what to do next in your kind of sandboxy urban campaign, but just giving your players some potential red herrings, some leads they could take. If you're not quite sure, if they say, we're going to gather information, and you're like, well, I haven't thought of anything, so, oh, I have this book, cool, let's roll a d100 and see what they find. Really fun for that, too. You can even challenge yourself by trying to do a just completely unprepped ad-lib campaign with this. Haha, 100 rumors in Magnamar. Danger Dossier. I think this is one of the best-selling, if not the best-selling Starfinder Infinite product by Andrew Wright. It is 70 pages of monsters. These are all monsters converted over from Pathfinder that have not yet been. Stuff like classic monsters. I'm thinking like, I want to say Rust Monster, Gelatinous Cube, you know, those classic Pathfinder fantasy-style monsters converted into Starfinder. So if you felt like you didn't have enough monsters in your Starfinder game, Danger Dossier is a way to go. Also was developed by Starfinder design lead Owen K.C. Stevens, so you know it is a quality product. Champion Reborn is a champion class without alignment. James Beck did a lot here to kind of reforge a martial champion kind of thing. A lot of fun options here for champions of alignments that weren't given proper care in the core game. And there's even an expansion product to this. Champions Reborn 2, Forged in Fire, but we will get to that when we get to that. Haha. Heroes of Omen, the Paradigm. The Paradigm is a really fun base class that is all keyed around maximizing your archetype. It's kind of a class with only limited class feats itself, because it's all about being either a skill-based, martial-based, or caster-based character who focuses on that archetype. This also includes expansions to existing archetypes that weren't given enough love, especially from Lost Omen's World Guide, like the Red Mantis Assassin, the Magic Warrior. They get a bunch of bonus feats, and they also get a bunch of exciting new feats to try to bring them up to par with the post-APG archetype world. Yeah, the Paradigm. Yes, more archetype in your archetype, definitely. If you like archetypes, if you want to make an entire character based around one archetype, check out the Paradigm. All right. Secrets of Nightwater Swamp. This is book 4 of End of Days. Kind of just, this is my general End of Days is a thing. It's an AP exclusive to Pathfinder Infinite. They have parts 1 through 4 out. Each of the APs can also be played separately as their own adventures, as they have a whole page dedicated to how to integrate it into your own campaign. They always include a ton of VTT support. The Gremlin Brother maps are incredible. The tokens are, they usually have an extra token or little accessories that go with it that are really fun. I love the idea of people releasing entire APs on the Pathfinder Infinite platform. So I'm always really excited to see more of their content out there. And then we also have Drakes Want Drakes. I haven't analyzed this one completely yet. I just love the idea straight up of they took something people really like, beast guns, and they said, okay, these are the kind of things you could build an entire adventure around getting, for sure. So let's do it. This is a level 4 bounty that is a micro adventure to give a narrative explanation as to how you got the materials to craft a Drake rifle from Guns and Gears. I like that a lot. It's so cool. If you ever wanted a character with a beast gun, especially a Drake rifle, throw this at your GM and be like, here we go. Let's do this. I haven't read it yet. I'm ready for it. Let's hunt down a Drake and make ourselves a Drake rifle. Haha. Oh, did I mispronounce something? Oh, well. Paradigm. Oh, did I say Paragon? Oop, well, okay. Chat is pointing out that I am mispronouncing stuff. All right. Heroic Crafting. Heroic Crafting is the crafting that I use in my own campaign. I did a full interview on this. It is a really cool system. It helps bring crafting, make crafting into something you definitely want to do, speeds it up, gives you some more skill feats that you could use to craft, gives you some more items to help you craft. It is a wonderful, wonderful product, and it is my default go-to for crafting in Pathfinder 2e. 150 sites to see and hear about in Absalom. Again, if you're playing an Absalom campaign and you want some red herrings or some ideas for some more adventures for your party members, you should check out 150 sites to see and rumors to hear in Absalom. Whop. And then we have... Oh, yeah. Want to point out Mika Draws. Mika Draws does a bunch of awesome stock art on Pathfinder Infinite, and you could use them to spice up your own Pathfinder Infinite product. You could use them, I suppose, as character art. You could use them as art for especially the deities. If you have a cleric of one of these deities who communes with them regularly, you could use it in a VTT or print it out and use it at the table to give them an idea of what they're looking at. They're really fun. I like that they did the Daikitsu here based on a Twitter discussion with the Daikitsu Twitter from the Gods of Galarian Twitter account, so I like that a lot, and I wanted to point it out there because Daikitsu is the best. Alright, Samurai is an archetype by James Beck. It is another one of those big complete archetypes that just has tons of feats, like enough that you could take, if you're using free archetype rules, you could take every free archetype feat from Samurai and still have enough left over that you're considering taking some of your regular class feats as archetype feats. It does everything you could expect a Samurai to do and more. It lets you really play up that fantasy as a Samurai. I did a full review of this one as well. It's really cool. I like it a lot, and I'm glad that it exists. Next up we have Breakfast 2.0, the most inventive meal of the day. This is a full inventor innovation that lets you make waffles at the beginning of the day and then pass them out to allies to give them buffs and or slightly heal them. It also lets you use waffle iron as a weapon or even a trap. Lets you do a lot of fun stuff as a kind of inventor cook, which I think is a really creative niche. And it would be really easy, honestly, to convert this if you wanted to pancakes or a panini or any kind of grilled food. As long as you have a pan for it, it would work. Omelets. I love waffles, though. I would use this with waffles. But what metal is the waffle iron made of? You know, we already have stats for a mithril waffle iron. You don't need extra stats for those in here. There's some good 2E core stats for that already. 1 minute. Oh, excuse me. There we have it. All right. Yes, and Sasha's work is amazing. I love Sasha's work. If you see Sasha's work on Pathfinder or Starfinder Infinite, you know it's going to be a quality product. All right, we got the Jester archetype. While it was released on April Fool's, this archetype is not a joke. It's really cool, really fun. It plays up that kind of Jester class you'll see sometimes in like late 90s games. I saw it a lot, like Gauntlet or I want to say that Games Workshop board game that I always forget the name of. Anyway, you get to, like, it's a high mobility class. There's a lot of reactions, a lot of ways to tumble out of danger, make people want to attack you and then dodge, ways to make people laugh themselves to death or debuff people with funny jokes and laughs. It's a really fun looking class, and you can, combine it with all the juggle stuff or other content from Extinction Curse. If you want to play a clown in Extinction Curse, this is a perfect archetype for it. Talisman. Yeah, Novel got it. Talisman is the game I'm thinking of. Man, that is a game, all right. I'm just going to say that. All right, Inkfinder. If you like tattoos, you should pick up Inkfinder. There's over 100 tattoos in here, including level 1 tattoos and level 2 tattoos. There's a lot of really cool ones in here. They have a lot of really nice effects. Some are really broad, some are niche, but they work in a way that makes it just a solid product. If you want to use tattoos, definitely pick up Inkfinder. If you just have extra gold and you're not sure what magic items to buy, check out Inkfinder. A lot of cool stuff in here. Love, love, love this product a lot. We need more magic items. All right. Character classes, precog. Oh, I almost forgot. Back to Inkfinder. There is also a tattoo artisan archetype and alchemical research field in this. So it's not just items. If you want to play a character who makes their own tattoos or can switch them out in the middle of the day or do all those other crazy stuff, Inkfinder. All right, character classes Precog by James Beck. I did a full review of this fairly recently. It is a caster class all about manipulating the future. Its special mechanics mostly deal with making sure that you minimizing bad rolls. Frankly, you roll a bunch of d20s at the beginning of the day, and throughout the day you can use those results for your rolls. So you could use the bad rolls for stuff that doesn't matter as much, and save the good rolls for stuff that really, really matters. It's a really fun class for people who aren't good with tilt, I'll put it that way. And of course, if you want to do time shenanigans, it's the best base class for it. If you want to do timey-wimey stuff, check out the Precog. It's got you. Then we got summoning cards, stat blocks for Starfinder. These are, like they say on the cover, cards with stats for all the different summons in Starfinder. The summoning in Starfinder is kind of a complication. This really, 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 really helps. Having individual cards of stat blocks you could quickly look at and have on the ready when you want to summon helps make summoning worthwhile. As the reason to summon a Starfinder is usually less combat and more I need this one specific monster for this weird ability it has kind of thing, and this helps you keep track of what those all are. Especially the way it uses like summon templates or summon stat blocks. So yes, this has cards for every level, 41 pages worth of cards. I love using card accessories, so I love summoning card stat blocks for Starfinder. Handful of magic items. Handful here. These are, I want to say, 4 or 5 magic items. They're all fairly higher up there in power. Definitely the kind of things you would build an adventure around, which I enjoy a lot. I like seeing more magic items, so I wanted to shout out to a handful of magic items. And I would like to see more content by Sarua Eduardo Raphael, so I hope they're watching. Archon's Archive, the Inquisitor class. Everybody wants an Inquisitor. It was made. It's cool. It's right here. I saw people asking for it on Reddit, and I hope they're watching now so they can see that there already is one, and it's worth it. It's cool. I like the Inquisitor class a lot. It's kind of keyed around using recall knowledge to find people's weaknesses, and then using judgment spells to buff yourself or do damage to them. It's a slightly more martial skill. It's slightly more skill-based cleric, but fairly martial. It does its job quite well. It finds a good balance between the Inquisitors. And like Naval said on here, that there are, yes, like 3 different Zealot Inquisitor classes on Infinite. And what's so cool about Pathfinder 2e is if you find 2 that you really like, you're not sure which one you like the most, there's a good chance it's the feats that are making it for you. And you could always just, like, ask your GM, like, can I get this 1 feat from this other Inquisitor class and slap it on this one? 9 times out of 10, you're good. That modular nature of 2e makes mix and matching really, really cool. All right. Next, we got Ironclad. Ironclad is another idea that people have really, really wanted for PF2, and we have quite a few of them on Infinite, but it is a martial tank. I love the Ironclad class. I love the tank. You get interpose and attract reactions to make sure that your allies aren't getting hit and you are. You could buff yourself up with your armor. You could focus instead on a shield. It is the martial tank that you want to play. If you ever want to play a non-divine tank, this is where you go. Ironclad, check it out. I got a full review up there at shows.infinite.net. All right, Iron Fang Invasion Backgrounds, another great product by Luis Loza. These are backgrounds that were adapted from the campaign traits from Pathfinder 1E that will help you run a Iron Fang Invasion campaign for Pathfinder 2E. Building hobgoblins in Pathfinder 2 is pretty easy, as the examples they give you in the bestiary are pretty good for expanding upon. So Iron Fang Invasion would be a very fun AP to easily convert over to 2E, and this will help you give you a launching point for expanding upon the possibilities for initial character creation. You still need the Iron Fang Invasion Player's Guide, but that is free on the Paizo website. Haha. Oh, and of course, they are some cool backgrounds. Like, these are unique backgrounds. They're more than just, you know, one of two proficiencies and a skill feat. They do some really cool stuff. So you should check them out if you want some inspiration for how to write fun backgrounds that do a little bit more than your standard backgrounds. Volume of the Vanguard by Delioth. The Vanguard is another heavy martial defender class, non-magical defender class that protects your allies from harm and specializes especially in armor. Very, very heavy armor on the Vanguard. There are some expansions to Volume of the Vanguard with some additional options for you. So if you want to play a martial character, you can check out both Ironclad and Volume of the Vanguard. There's really cool stuff here. I love them both. I honestly don't know which one I would want to play. I'd probably have to, like, read over all the class feats and really strongly think about it. But if I was to play a martial defender, it would definitely be Volume of the Vanguard or Ironclad. Maybe I should do a comparison review video someday. I don't know, but they're both really cool classes. I love them both. All right. Alchemist Guide for Beginners by Eldritch Osiris Games. Alchemist is one of the most difficult classes to play in 2E. As more and more alchemical items are released, it will become that much more difficult to play, and there will be more and more little tricks in the terrain that you have to learn in this especially skill testing class. This guide will help you become a better alchemist. Especially if you have a newer player who's maybe never played 2E or hasn't played much of any tabletop game who wants to play an alchemist, I can't recommend this. I can't recommend this book more. It's a really, 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 really good guide. It's totally worth it. All right. Enemies of Omen, Shambling Horrors. This book went under my radar. I really love it. It's an expansion book to Book of the Dead. There is a feat in there that lets you summon unique skeletons called Shambling Horrors, and this contains over 100 skeletons and zombies that you could use for that Shambling Horrors feat for the Reanimator archetype. In addition, these are over 100 7th and 8th level skeleton and zombie monsters. There's tons in here. There's dinosaurs, dragons, humanoids. There's just so many really, 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 really cool skeletons and zombies in here. They, of course, could be pretty easily scaled down or up depending on your campaign if you just want to use these as monsters. And, hey, they all work with, or I believe many of them will work with Summon Undead. So it also gives you some more options for that. So whether you're playing a Necromancer or you're playing a GM and you want some more Undead for your campaign, check out Enemies of Omen, Shambling Horrors. Great bestiary there. Champion Reborn 2, Forged in Fire. We had a full fun review with this one. Oh, hello there, Eldritch Dreams. This is an expansion with more causes, divine allies, and feats for Champion Reborn. There's some really cool stuff in there. I really enjoyed it. You should check it out if you want to play a Reborn champion. And there's some stuff in there you could honestly apply to the normal champion if you wanted to. But why, when you can play the Reborn champion? Delioth Dosier Minotaur. I see a lot of people asking for Minotaurs, and I don't know why, because we have a perfectly good one right here. I love this Minotaur. There's some great subversion of expectations in the NPCs. There's some classic Minotaur stuff in those feats, with those equipment. This is everything you could want in a Minotaur module, honestly. There's also a Foundry module for this if you want to play it up in Foundry. It is the complete cow. I'll put it that way. It is the complete cow. And I love it. I've played Minotaur before, and I wish 2E was out when I played it, because I wish I could have used this, because this is the best Minotaur ancestry I've ever seen. I'll just put it that way. I think so. Yeah. All right. Galactic Magic, the Feats chapter. I worked on this, but really it was Owen Casey Stevens and Sasha Lauren O'Harving really did most of this, especially Owen, who is the design lead for Starfinder. Uh, Galactic Magic's a really cool book for Starfinder. It expands the options that, especially the spell lists for casters, but there's not a lot of feats in it. I don't think there's any feats in it. So this is kind of the feats chapter. It includes a bunch of conversions of some 1E feats for casters, like meta magic feats. It includes some really neat unique feats that either apply to all casters or help buff very specific casters. There's stuff in there for like technomancers, precogs, mystics. It's really cool. Love the book. My favorite personal feat in here that I wrote was Phonoaesthetic Reverberation. They'll let you move buffs between your allies. Even if the ally is knocked out, you could be like, you're not using that haste anymore. I'm just going to throw that on the operative. There you go. All right. There's just a lot of cool stuff in there. Especially, frankly, if you're a caster other than, I'd say, a mystic, and you have a lot of extra resolve, there's a bunch of great options in here. A lot of cool stuff you can do with your resolve points. And a lot of cool stuff that doesn't require resolve points, which is, in its own way, just as exciting. Crypt of the Everflame is a full Pathfinder 2E conversion for the classic adventure Crypt of the Everflame. So if you want to play Crypt of the Everflame, there's a conversion for you on Pathfinder Infinite. Smoke and Sails! Oh man, this is a complete Naval Warfare source book. It has so much content. It has crew roles and actions you could take in the middle of ship combat that make you feel like you're actually like a part of the combat. It's not just one person controls while the ship moves and everyone else just fires the cannon every round. No, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in this. It's a very dynamic subsystem. There's a bunch of skills and feats, and their items let you customize your ship. If you ever want to play any kind of a pirate campaign in 2E, start here. Just start here. You won't be disappointed. It's a really, really, really well thought out, cool book, and I love it. Novel Actions Expanded Patrons. Yeah, there are a couple of books, of course, that help expand on the witch class. This is one of them. There's some really cool patrons in here. There's pact feats that let you trade out stuff for extra power. Ritualism feats that let you do kind of pre-combat rituals or expand on the rituals that we have, which is something that I think we really need more of in Pathfinder Infinite. I want to see more rituals. You've heard it here. Haha. Boosted Bestiary is by Ron Lundeen. He was the former adventure developer at Paizo. Amazing, amazing author. The Boosted Bestiary is 161 pages. It is expanded levels for existing Pathfinder 2e monsters. There's over 60 monsters, over 60 creatures, given over 200 different variations. They not only adjust the stat blocks, of course, but also the abilities to reflect what level the creature is at. So if you wanted to if you want to run an adventure and you're thinking like, I'm just going to pull out a random monster that I'm right now not 100% sure if it's in here or not. You need more Behirs, and you're like, okay, like we got the one Behir stat block. That's cool. That could be the boss or something. But like maybe babies or like even teenage Behirs, like middle age Behirs, like where are the other stat blocks here? Because a lot of times you'll see a cool monster who is part of like a society in the setting, and yeah, you could just increase the level yourself or give it the elite template or whatever, but this takes things to the next level by giving unique special abilities to the lower and higher level version of existing PF2 monsters, and giving you the tools you need to make it feel like more of a living world, frankly, because not all Behirs are necessarily challenge 8. I probably got that level wrong, and just my random example at the top of my head. All right, we got Kineticist, Powers of the Elements. I do like, there's a couple Kineticists out there. This one's really, really good. It's a Wavecaster Kineticist. There's over 130 class feats and 60 focus spells. There are 4 different elements in this book, and then there's an expanded Lesson of the Elements expansion. which is a pay-what-you-want expansion to this. You can control up to 3 elements at once on a single character, or you can specialize hardcore into just a single element, because why would you throw anything but fire? I'm kidding. Haha! Origami Folder by Ellen Savor. Alright, we have a full interview and review of this. I love the Origami Folder. There's some really, really nice items in here. So frankly, even if you're not going for the archetype, you should check this out just for those origami magic items. They're really fun for their flavorful loot. They're flavorful for, there's an Origami Folder in town and he's offering his wares. Let's check it out. And of course, the actual Origami Folder archetype, much like the Talisman Dabbler, lets you, get origami at the beginning of the day that don't cost anything, let you kind of change out the origami throughout the day, refold. Helen knows her stuff when it comes to the origami. I mean, all of the origami in this book has actual folded, photographed origami examples in here. That she did herself, and they look really cool, and it just helps bring this whole book to life. I love it a lot. It's a really cool book. All right. Battle Drones, Battle Royale. This is a subsystem that lets you use your drones in Starfinder to battle other drones. It's kind of a PvP drone fighting experience, kind of a BattleBots kind of thing. It includes an arena map, some sample battle drones, minigame rules. If you have, there's a lot of classes now that can get drones in Starfinder. If you have a group who really loves the party drone, like we found in our own group that our drone Lunchbox became like our mascot for a while. So like if you have a drone mascot in the party and you're thinking, I think my party would appreciate a adventure specifically for this drone, here you go. Battle Drones Battle Royale would make a really fun backdrop for your adventure, saying that you're, battling your drone against other drones or what have you. I think that's really cool. All right. Treatise on Divinity. Yes, this is a really cool series of products. There's 2 of them right now, Bree and Besmara. They are absolute tomes of information about this deity. As much more information than you could ever imagine you would need. Everything from detailed information on their shrines and temples, their holy days, their holy texts, their divine gifts, their unique fighting styles for these deities, unique traits, spells. There are options for pretty much every base class. Oh, this is a Pathfinder 1E product, so there are options for every base class. And even though it's a 1E product, frankly, like the supplemental information on the deity, like their holy days or their aphorisms, makes it totally worth it. If you're playing a Bree character, you should check this out just for the flavor alone, because the flavor is top tier. In the Bree one, there's also information on prosthetics, there's some extra monsters, some plot hooks, and the Gearmaster Prestige class, which is a really cool Prestige class. There's a lot of stuff here. I love the idea of products that are focused on one deity, expanding it out to this level. Very impressive. I like it a lot. And it's one of the few 1E products we have up here. So, character classes, Symbiote. Alright, so the Symbiote, you are playing a character who is possessed by a parasitic symbiote of some kind. There's a bunch of different flavor paths you can take that in. It's a con-based class that creates custom diseases. Basically, you're combining different debuffs. You throw the diseases out and they function, diseases function like you do your save against them, and then every round you do another save or they get worse. If you do the save, they get better. So you're hitting people with debuffs that could gradually become worse and worse and worse. It is impressive to see a disease-based class. I don't think I've ever seen one before. And of course, the flavor of playing a symbiote will resonate with a lot of players. It could be a little creepy for some people, but that could be a plus. I mean, it's really cool. I gotta admit, like when I first saw just even the cover alone, I'm like, ooh, that's really, really cool. Definitely a darker character. Doesn't have to be. You could be a happy little symbiote. I mean, your parasite is definitely a net boon to you. It's not eating away at you. It's symbiotic. I mean, it says symbiote. All right. Haunting Glorion. This is my own book. If you want to learn everything there is about Dullahan, you could check out Haunting Glorion, as I've assembled every little bit of information I could possibly find about Dullahan from Pathfinder canon, and then expanded on it greatly, including unique Dullahan from across the world, from Tian Sha to the Inner Sea, and information on playing a Dullahan, whether you want to do it as an archetype or as or as a heritage. Or both, frankly. They could very easily be done together. When are you featuring this? I got questions. Oh, that must be about Symbiote? Paper Ninja? I know there's a little bit of delay between chat and what I'm saying. Yeah, so if you ever want to play a headless undead who is laser focused on one goal, probably vengeance, but not necessarily, Dullahan is definitely a way to go. I love the undead archetypes, and from Book of the Dead, they give you a very flavorful, fun way to bring a character back who may have unfortunately died before the end of the campaign in a way different than Raised Dead. Oh, Dullahan. Well, if you want me to do a full Dullahan show, I would love to do one, Paper Ninja. I could even do it next week. Witches Plus. Oh, in fact, I could do it next week along with the other Undead Book of the Dead book. I could just do a Book of the Dead special, I suppose. Witches Plus is one of the fastest selling breakout hits of Pathfinder Infinite. It is an amazing book. We use it in our own campaign. It has a Foundry module now, so definitely check it out. It is a redux of the witch class. It comes with a class errata, new feats, new patron themes, new lessons. It fixes some of those existing hexes and provides new ones, and has some really cool, flavorful patrons. Like, I especially like the swamp, the spirits, and the clockwork patrons were all really cool. I absolutely love Witches Plus. Great book. Love the illustrations. Derry Luttrell, Tony Sanders. It was a full bias warning. It was partially developed on the Discord at Infiknight.net. So if you have ever thought I would like to work on projects with people for Pathfinder Infinite, or find people to work on my project, you can join Infiknight.net Discord, and I will set you up with a private channel, and you can invite people to it and work on stuff on the Discord, and you won't have to have a completely separate Discord just for a single book. Treaty on Divinity Besmara. It's full information on Besmara, much like the Bree one. It has its own divine fighting technique, options for every class, tons of information on Besmara. If you want to play a Besmaran, there is this Pathfinder 1 ebook, Treaty on Divinity Besmara. Mountain Monks by Brian Lane. Like this idea a lot. If you ever want to play a monk who rides a mount, Mountain Monks. There are options here not only for monks, but also for characters of the martial artist archetype. There are 20 different feats. There's unique stances you can only do while mounted, which I think is really cool. I like this idea a lot. I've never really thought of playing a mounted monk until I saw this, and then I realized, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Kind of, I think Soheis sometimes would ride horses as well, so it makes sense. Does it include Sky Bison rules? Oh, I wish. I don't think it does, unfortunately. Oh, the Besmara link. My bad. Besmara. Haha, thank you for that. All right. The Angel, the Demon, the Alchemist. I wanted to bring this up for a while here. So, for those who don't know, real quick shout out to Vellum and Lace. I love Vellum and Lace. I love the fiction. It's right now still the only fiction I'm reading. The only non-comic fiction I'm reading right now. And I love it, love it, love it. This is another fiction recently. I haven't started reading it yet, but I love just the idea alone is really cool. As you can see, it's 315 pages for only $4.99. This is a retelling of a campaign. It's a Rise of the Rune Lords campaign told in third-person story format. It will include 22 sessions, and it includes sidebars by the players of the characters who you're reading about. So like little notes, little margin notes about these characters, like what happened during that session or what they were thinking when they did that. I love that a lot. This is a genre of fiction that I know is kind of popular in Tokyo. A lot of light novels are actually retellings of tabletop role-playing game campaigns. So I'm glad to see some people trying this here in the West, because I think that's a really, really rad idea. I mean, it makes the campaign feel so. It's such a gift to your players, and at the same time, a gift to the world to give us that feeling of being in this campaign, and being feeling like you're in with the party when all these crazy shenanigans come down. So yeah, love the idea of turning your Record of Lodos War, exactly, Elderstream. That was an example of a D&D campaign that was assembled into a book and sold locally, and then picked up, and they went, oh, this is really cool. I think they then made it into a manga and then an anime. I forget, but yeah, there's a few of those. I think Gungear of the Ash was another one that, like, it started as just a record of their campaign. All right, great. Caliborn Tenpenny's Fantastical Flatularium. If you want a book about farts, this is a book about farts. I can't believe I'd ever say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me post the book here. The Brambly Bunch is the Angel Demon and the Alchemist. Is the Brambly Bunch Volume 1. That's posted in the chat now. All right, so the Flatularium. This is a book about stinky stuff. If you want to play a character, or if you want monsters that are all themed around the stench ability, here you have it. There's some fun there's some fun spells in here, like Silent but Deadly or Detect Farts. And there's some fun items in here, like the Clothespin of Respite. It's a really fun book. It's one of those, pay as much as you want, but we recommend $1, 5 pages. It's silly. It's kind of inspiring in a way. Like, if you have an NPC, or if you use one of these monsters in your campaign, let's admit it, your players will remember it. Like, your players will remember it. Oh yeah, I wish we had print on demand. This would be such a stocking stuffer. It really would. It really would. Well, you could always print in booklet form on your own, I suppose. All right, so we're getting here toward the end here. Revised options, Magic and Fury. These are 3 rebalance class paths for the Barbarian, Fury and Superstition Barbarian. Oh, and the Eldritch Trickster Rogue Racket. Plus a new investigator methodology, kind of like the Eldritch Trickster. So these were some class paths that the author felt needed some help, and they gave it to them. Especially like it for extra help for the Superstition Barbarian is always appreciated. I love that. Love the idea of that archetype, but I need more help. Here is our 3rd witch book, the Witch's Handbook. It includes a bunch of new feats, patron themes, witch lessons, and hexes. There's a bunch of new great feats in here, frankly. I'm shouting it out here strictly for their hair and nail hex support. Love the hair witch is one of my favorite fantasies, so I am really, really, really glad to see more support for it. Shields Reforged! Yes, there are so many cool shield books on Pathfinder Infinite. Shields Reforged is a big one. You can customize your shields using shield runes. They include special shield property runes, rules for automatic bonus progression for shields, which was very much necessary. This is a great equipment book for shields. Haha. Oops, there we have it. The Stalwart Defender, talking about shields. This is an archetype based on the Stalwart Defender Prestige class from Pathfinder 1E. Ooh, why are we going? Oh, there we go. All right. The Stalwart Defender, it is another tank. It's a tank archetype, so you are a frontline defender. You're standing your ground. It's a low mobility but high defense archetype. There are Foundry modules available for this as well. It is very good to use just with shields. Shield, yes. All right, novel boss battle, Tarisk the Armageddon Engine. I didn't know what to expect when I saw this, and I really love the idea. It's really neat. It is a kind of, it's in a way, it kind of reminds me of Starstone the Ascension, in that it's kind of a board game using a lot of mechanics from Pathfinder 2e. But at the same time, it is definitely letting you use your characters. It's giving you an alternative way to battle big bosses. It's, like it says, many products for 50 cents. There are decks of cards. There's booklets explaining how the system works. It is a total new conversion subsystem for battling boss monsters that frankly makes it so that you don't even need a GM. So you could do this as simply make 20 level characters come together and battle this boss monster together. As you flip the cards to determine what the boss monster does, and use your characters to try to overcome it. There's some fun new siege engines and stuff like that in here. It is quite the interesting product that you can check out here on Pathfinder Infinite. Baba Yaga's Guide to Galarian Gastronomy. I was so happy that somebody finally made somebody in particular, Jamie Trollope in particular, made a cookbook for Pathfinder. It's so cool. There's an actual recipe in here. There's forwards and information here about Baba Yaga as she travels along Galarian, trying all these different cuisines. And there's full menus in here for different establishments. So if you need a menu for your tavern, pub, or inn, check out Baba Yaga's Guide to Galarian Gastronomy. Really, really fun, and there's real recipes you can make. So if you want to make dinner for your friends before you play, or for a break, I suppose, between playing, here you go. You got that flavorful one. Charred Knights. This one's really cool. It is an expansion on the Order of the Charred Knights, written by Sasha Laranora Harving. The original Charred Knights were written by, I want to say, Ryan Costello from No Direction, who called out the Charred Knights, this product on No Direction. Said, they really liked it, so that's cool. It talks about, it's a new archetype called the Char Knights. It's a mastery of fiery siege warfare. There's a bunch of new archetype feats for them. There's some archetype skill feats for them. We know how much we want new skill feats. If you want to play a Charred Knight from the Knights of Last Wall, check this out. And we have Heroes of Omen, the Nanosite. I did a full review on this already. Nanosites have little tiny robots called nanites that they can manipulate and control to make clouds that dissolve people, clouds that shield them from harm, or even items on the fly. It is a high skill-based class, and I love it. Galarian Unseen Bloodlines has a bunch of new bloodlines, including the Kitsune bloodline, the Time bloodline, the Gargoyle bloodline. If you want more bloodlines for your sorcerers, this has Foundry support and is a really, really neat product to help supplement your sorcerer. All right. Novel options Barrier Mage. I love Abjuration. I love the shield spell. Everyone loves the shield spell. And with this archetype, you can specialize in casting and using the shield spell for a bunch of really, really cool stuff. So check out Novel Options Barrier Mage. There's 27 new shield tricks for the shield cantrip. I like it a lot. All right. And Everything Shields. We finally come into Everything Shields. These are new feats for shields, including reaction, skill feats, general feats, and spell tricks. There are 9 new base shields, 50 runes, and fundamental runes, rules for adjusting shields with multiple metals, and more, and including the archetypes, the Mirror Warrior, and Shield Maven. If you want to play a shield wielder, I suggest picking this up and the other shield book mentioned, Everything Shields, and the other shield book mentioned on this stream, Shield Reforged, so that you can play the optimal shield wielder. And there we have it, 70 products. Woo! And with that, I am done. That was really fun. There was some products released after the cutoff point that I set for this in the last 8 days, but I will definitely get to them in December when I do this next 6-month roundup, and I'll get them before then. If there are any products that you want to see that I have yet to review, contact me on social media. Check me out on Infiknight.net. Check out our mailing list at mail.infiknight.net, where you could get the latest updates every Friday on all the coolest new Pathfinder Infinite products, including coupons. Check out Brewmaster's Compendium on Reddit, as that is starting soon, and you'll be able to create monsters that will be thrown into a product sold for charity, and you'll be able to see them come to life with new illustrations. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I will be back on Tuesday for Booster Bestiary, and be back here on Friday for more reviews. Please make sure to check out our Discord at infiknight.net. Thank you especially to our subscribers, followers, and everybody in chat. And remember, there's infinite possibilities with Infinite Reviews.